Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Notre Dame Mumbai Fireside Chat Series. Today, I'm sitting with Joseph Lee, a Notre Dame student who spent this past summer in Mumbai through the Global Professionals Experience program. Joseph is a pre-med student who got a chance to shadow doctors, learn about the healthcare system, and immerse himself in the Indian culture. So let's just dive in. Joseph, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Could you please give us an introduction,
Yeah.
your Notre Dame intro?
Yeah. My name is Joseph Lee. I am a sophomore studying neuroscience and behavior. I am in Graham Family Hall, but I am originally from Southern California. So yeah.
Yeah, great. I have some questions here I'm going to ask you. So, yeah, really excited that you're going to share your experience. I feel like it was just yesterday where we were talking about you applying to the program.
Right.
So, yeah. How did you first hear about the Global Professionals Experience program and what interested you in applying?
Mm-hmm. Well, so I knew I wanted to go abroad, given that almost 90% of Notre Dame students go abroad. And I felt that the summer was the best time to do so. And I stumbled across the Global Research and Professional Experience programs, and it seemed really fun because one, I didn't really have to take a class, and two, it was going to be very hands-on, which I preferred. And as a pre-med student, the India site specifically was really attractive because one, it was really the only one that offered really immersive medical experience, and two, it was in a country that I've never been to and that I was interested in. So I just went for it.
That's great. Yeah, so you were placed in a hospital. Can you talk about your placement? And yeah, just a little bit about your placement.
Yeah, of course. So we were in the southern part of Mumbai, which is a very dense city. And like 20 minutes north was the hospital that we were stationed at. It was called SRCC Children's Hospital. So we were in a more pediatric setting. And this hospital is a private hospital, so it wasn't too hectic, which was probably helpful for us. Um, and it was really fun. We would just Uber there every morning, see whatever surgeries were going on that day, and all the surgeons, the medical director, they were very welcoming. So it was a really good time.
That's great. You're a pre-med student,
Right.
so can you talk a little bit about what you want, what professionally you're looking to do after university?
Yeah. Well, first of all, being there and watching the surgeons at that hospital, it really did confirm that I wanted to pursue a career in possibly surgery, maybe pediatrics.
Okay.
It's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was really helpful in terms of doing that because one, I got a bunch of shadow hours for med school, which is really important these days in the application process. And two, it was really eye-opening and it really confirmed what I wanted to do. So yeah.
That's cool. So you're thinking about the surgeon route and potentially pediatric. So it was appealing. Okay, that's good to know. What was a typical day like for you as a pre-med student working at the Children's Hospital? And then is there a favorite memory that stands out from the time that you were there?
Yeah. So we stayed at the Cricket Club of India.
I love the Cricket Club.
It's an amazing facility. It's absolutely great. We would get breakfast there in the morning at one of their many restaurants. Call a $1 Uber for a 20-minute ride up north to the hospital. Throw on some scrubs. Look at the OR board. Choose which surgery we wanted to watch that day. Walk into the OR room. Say what's up to the surgeon. And just observe them go to work. It was really fascinating. For my favorite moment, I remember being very overwhelmed on the first day when we kind of just got thrown into an open heart surgery. I've seen surgeries in the US before, but nothing as crazy as an open heart. I mean, it was just right there, just beating in front of me. I was like, wow. Yeah.
It's kind of like all those shows they have on hospitals. There's always chaos going on and people are running and emergencies. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
You know, it was you and another student who had
Right.
the same placement.
Right.
So you got to do this together. Can you talk a little bit more about your experience just being on the ground in
Yeah.
Mumbai, the Notre Dame community, some of the resources that you had?
Yeah. So it was really helpful having Katie there, I have to admit. Katie was the other pre-med student that I did the program with. Originally, I was going to go to Kenya. That was our initial plans, but that kind of fell through due to me kind of being alone in a city, kind of like 2 hours away from the nearest contact. So for me, India was the right decision because Katie was someone that I knew before going into the summer. I had her in like a chem class together. And we kind of shared experiences in terms of being in a new environment, being in that uncomfortable hospital setting, seeing those crazy surgeries. So it was really helpful having her there, as well as there were multiple other programs of Notre Dame students. So there were like, I remember the ND Bridge girls were there doing a service-oriented program at a local school. There was a global affairs class, a group of 8 students, I'm pretty sure. And then you had the alumni and current students there that were there to hang out with us, answer any questions, take us out to places to see, share meals with us. So yeah, it was never boring, for sure. We were always busy, and it was cool seeing that Notre Dame community in a foreign country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We have our global professionals experience operates in other cities around, and I think that's one of the benefits that this program offers is because you can get hands-on experience as well as get the Notre Dame support.
Right.
And you're still experiencing it with other Notre Dame students and alumni, and so that community experience is really helpful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Can you share an experience that you had connecting with somebody locally? So if you can share a moment.
The locals there were really welcoming. I remember getting stopped to ask like by questions, maybe like at the gym, at the club, or just on the street. But one in particular was my favorite surgeon I met there was Dr. Samantre, was the pediatric neurosurgeon. And he made a huge impact on how I view things because a lot of the surgeons, like we asked them their medical journey and they all studied and did their internships, fellowships, residency in like the US or the UK. But he talked about how the reason he came back to India was that he felt like that was where he was needed the most. And he had that as a priority over kind of like where he wanted to be, which was really inspiring because he's just completely living a life full of service. I remember this conversation came up because he was doing an epilepsy surgery that would have taken a couple hours in a more advanced hospital setting, but because they're a little less technologically advanced, it took him like 8 to 10 hours. Wow. So yeah, it was really cool seeing how he's willing to sacrifice for the help of others.
And is that what draws you to the fields?
Yeah, for sure. I know for a fact that whatever I do, I want it to be fulfilling. I want to live a life of service, so it's what I feel like I'm called to do.
I love that. It's not just a job.
No.
Right? So a little bit more on that. How has your experience in India shaped the way you see the world around you?
Yeah. I mean, being in Mumbai, so I'm from California. Not really from a specific big city. I lived in both Northern and Southern California, but not like San Francisco, Los Angeles, kind of like the suburbs.
Yeah.
Mumbai is a crazy city for sure.
It is.
New York City beautiful. Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. New York City is overwhelming, but imagine triple the people in the same area in Mumbai. So yeah, it was very overwhelming, I would say, for sure. But living in the city was so much fun. And Mumbai was like, everything was different about it. The economy, the jobs people had, the culture, religion, just the dynamic of how their day-to-day life worked. It was very fascinating to observe. Um, it really opened my eyes to how different people live in different areas of the world. So definitely don't take anything for granted that we're able to go to a school like this. So
Yeah. Absolutely. When I was in Mumbai, I loved it. It was chaos,
it was always
but it was like, how I explain it is, it was organized chaos, even the driving, and it had such a beautiful flow to it.
right.
But being there when I landed in the Mumbai airport, I was thinking, oh my goodness, there's just chaos everywhere. It's a big city. It's 2:00 in the morning, and then it's just hustling and bustling.
Yeah, the first car ride always gets you.
Yeah.
Like, wow, there's like a 4-lane highway, but there seems to be like 12 lanes.
Yes.
It's just
But
crazy.
there, it was still organized somehow.
Yeah.
Like, it
no
just
one really
worked.
crashes their car.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. It's really weird how that works.
Yeah, it really is. Even the I call it the honking culture. So, or the beeping, in the cars.
Yeah.
And the first day, I didn't know, like, there's just beeping everywhere. How do you know what's where? But by the time, like, a couple days in, we all knew there was like a rhythm. Yeah. So I loved that part about it. Yeah. Okay. So back to the medical field. What draws you to the medical field as a professional calling? You kind of mentioned this already. And how did this experience influence your perspective on healthcare and reaffirm or reshape your interest in pursuing medicine? I mean, you kind of touched upon this already.
I can talk more about like the pediatric side though.
Yeah, tell us more.
There's something different about pediatrics because not only are you treating a patient, but that patient is kind of oblivious as to what's going on. They're just in pain. And on top of that, you see like these parents that are just worried out of their minds. So I definitely think it's a different type of medicine, just because you need to be a little more careful in terms of like what you say, what you do, because these parents are freaked out.
I'm a parent, I probably freaked out.
Right. But it's beautiful to see when a kid gets, you could say, fixed or healed, and the parents who are just worried out of their minds are like, thank God. So pediatrics, it was really beautiful to observe just that relationship that the doctor had to maintain between the family and the patient, as well as keeping the parents kind of reassured that their kid would be okay. So
you need to have a certain level of compassion working with the parents.
Exactly.
So you have patients from different age groups, as well as different ability to understand, right? A child may not be able to understand the situation, what's going on, but there still could be in a panic or pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then you have the parent who's in different perspectives. So you need to be able to juggle that compassion and care. Interesting. Okay, so for the last questions, what are some of the common misconceptions people may have about India, Mumbai, or studying abroad? And what do you think your audience should know about just your experience and some of those misconceptions?
Well, first of all, I'd say if you ever have the opportunity to go to India, I do not hesitate at all to go. It is one of the most fascinating countries I've ever been to, and I've been to various countries in Europe, all over the place. So India was just probably one of my favorite trips I've ever been on.
I would like to second that. Yeah, I've also traveled, and India is probably
it's up there.
Still
it's
resonates
way up there. Yeah.
very deeply with me.
I think people see it as an underdeveloped country, which on paper, I guess you can consider it, but like Mumbai is just wonderful. One of the prettiest city skylines I've ever witnessed in my life. And just like we said before, the way the city operates and the relationships between the people there, it's just something that you really want to be a part of, which I'm so grateful I went because I got to experience that.
Yeah. And then you and Katie also went with the India summer group to the Taj Mahal.
We did.
And you had. So
we did.
Not medical related,
Right.
but tell us about that.
How was your experience going to visiting the Taj Mahal? Yeah, like halfway through our trip, I think we took a week to we flew over to Agra, and I mean the Taj Mahal is just stunning. It's like, how can you make something like that out of complete marble? It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen with my 2 eyes, and it was the most fun. That was the best week of my trip for sure.
That's wonderful.
Seeing the Taj, as well as we went to Delhi, the capital. We got to see an ancient village that was really, really cool. And the trip was just so much better because we were with a bunch of other Notre Dame students sharing that experience as well. So
that's very neat.
It's definitely very fun.
It's very neat. So we're talking about all of these experiences you had in your GPE program, in the culture, staying at the cricket club. What are some of advice you would give to students about preparing? Some of the things like when you're going into it not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
How did you prepare? And I know I said I had the last question, but this is my last question.
Okay.
What are some of the things that you did to prepare for your experience?
Yeah.
And what do you recommend students to do when they're going into that? Or even managing expectations?
Right.
Yeah.
It's very hot there.
Very
but
hot.
Also during the summer it is monsoon season.
Yes.
So you can get wet. I think I was prepared for that. I had a good rain jacket as well as shorts and t-shirts pretty much every day. It was a weird dynamic. Rain would come off and on, but the on would be just absolutely thumping. The off would be really nice because it cooled down the hot sun. So yeah, it always kept us on our toes. I would say that just in general, not just India, going abroad, living in a new environment, everyone gets sick at least once. That's just inevitable to happen. I think we came prepared. I had some of my medicines when I got sick. I did have my doctor prescribe me some anti-malaria medicine that I didn't do a great job of taking, but it didn't really matter too much. We were in a good environment from that. That was something I did some research on my own before I went. And I recently found out that the wellness center gives you these like packages to take with you to be prepared for anything that happens, which you should probably do. If I knew about it, I would have done it. It would have been very helpful. But yeah, other than that, I think you'll get through it just fine.
Yeah, but it is important, like I said, to properly prepare going into that, to your experience, whether it's rain or health or planning with your family, communication.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of support on the ground.
Oh,
and I think
no doubt.
Mumbai is a wonderful place to go. Okay. So thank you for sharing all your experiences. It's really great to hear about that you had a great time in Mumbai and on the GPE program.
Yeah.
I think, is there anything else, kind of final thoughts you would like to add to sit with the audience?
This might be a personal preference, but if you do go abroad, I would recommend going to a country where you've never been before, you maybe won't travel to when you're older. Just go explore and go somewhere where you're uncomfortable, because I feel like that's where you grow the most. You learn the most about yourself, and you learn the most about the world. So put yourself in uncomfortable spaces and go to that random niche country that has been in the back of your mind ever since. So yeah,
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
of course.
So to everyone watching, if you'd like to learn more about the Global Professionals Experience Program in Mumbai or any other study abroad opportunities that Notre Dame offers, please visit mumbai.nd.edu for more details and make sure to follow the Instagram account, UND Mumbai. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Notre Dame Mumbai's Fireside Chat Series.